Hey everybody, this is Teresa. I wanted to share with you a bun recipe I made yesterday. I tried filming it but accidentally deleted some footage. So I'm going to make some more today. They turned out really well. Let's hope they turn out well again. Okay, I'm going to start by measuring my ingredients. And on this recipe I'm going to weigh some of my ingredients. So I heated my buttermilk just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add, I don't know if you can see, 2 teaspoons of yeast, like that. And yesterday was the first time I tried buttermilk bread, and it actually was really good. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of sugar in here, and this is where I go different from the recipe. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of organic honey. It doesn't have to be organic, just what I have right now. I'm going to just whisk this together and let that sit for a minute. It's instant yeast, by the way, that I use. Oh, I'm also going to pour my 25 grams of melted butter in here. So that's all, and I have one whole egg and 1 egg yolk, and I've beat those, and they're room temperature. And I'm going to weigh my flour. If my scale works. Okay. I'm going to add 500 grams of bread flour, and the dough ends up quite sticky, so I usually end up adding a few tablespoons more, and I'll tell you how many I add, and I'll show you the dough as I mix it. So we need 500 grams to start. I'm using bread flour, and right now I just have King Arthur bread flour. I really like Bob's Red Mill, but the store where I used to get it, it was a market basket, and they don't sell it anymore. And I was so disappointed because that is my favorite flour. And on Amazon, sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't, and it's quite expensive. But King Arthur works great. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt to my flour. And I'm using kosher salt. And let's see, we'll just kind of mix this a little bit. So I'm going to move the camera over to the mixer. And it's pretty easy. There's not many ingredients in this dough. And the temperature is a little different today than it was yesterday. So I'm hoping they turn out well. I like the hamburger buns to be not quite as fluffy as bread rolls per se. So there's not so much bread when you eat the sandwich, because sometimes it's just too much bread. So I'm adding my buttermilk mixture, and I'm going to add my egg yolk and whole egg. I'm using large eggs. Okay, and now I'm just going to add my flour in with my salt. And I spilled a little bit. I don't know why I've been spilling lately. It's quite annoying. And I saved my egg white so we can brush the dough with the egg white. I think I'm going to add an egg yolk too, because they didn't come out as brown as I wanted them to yesterday. Okay, so let's get the dough hook and start mixing this. And so you don't have to hear the noise because it's quite loud, I will mix this and show you what it looks like. As you can see, it's coming together quite nicely. It's not quite as sticky as it was yesterday. I'm going to let it go a little bit longer. Actually, I'm going to start the timer for 5 minutes. And if I need to add flour, I'm going to need this on speed too. If you can see that well, but it's just a little bit sticky at the bottom, not much. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to add 1 teaspoon of flour because I want it to be a little sticky. I find that it comes out a little softer if it's a little bit sticky. But you can see it's not quite smooth yet, so I'm still kneading. I'm only halfway through, and I'll bring you back. See how it's coming along? It's barely sticking at the bottom, and I might have added a little bit too much flour, but I think it's going to be okay. And I'm so sorry if I did not mention that I used 10 ounces of whole buttermilk. Whole milk buttermilk, not low fat. Okay, I'm almost finished kneading it. I'll bring you back. It came out pretty good. It's a tiny bit sticky, so I like to spray my hands with some. So here's the balls resting for 10 minutes. Just wanted to show you a close-up of what they look like. And I'll be back. Oh, stop. Okay, my dough's been resting for about 10 minutes. Let me spray my hands with a little cooking oil spray because it's a little sticky, which is good. We want them a little sticky. And I just start taking them in my hand and kind of gently, okay, I'm going to start shaping them, and they're nice and soft. And I just take them around in my hand. I'm not the best at making a circle. I wish I had some of those rings that you set the dough inside, and the buns come out perfectly. But I don't have any of those, so I just have to use my hands, and I just try to even it out of even thickness so it bakes evenly. So I just take them like that and shape them. So I'm going to do all 4 of these, and then I'm going to let them rise for 30 minutes, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, my buns have been rising for about 30 minutes. And now it's time for me to preheat my oven. I hope they don't deflate because my kitchen's a little cool. I'm going to bake them at 375 for about 20 minutes. And now what you want to do is take an egg wash. If you choose to, you don't have to do this. It's optional. And just brush lightly over the tops. And I'm also going to sprinkle some sesame seeds. And I needed more buns to go with our barbecue pork that I made last night. So I don't want them too fluffy because I don't want too much bread. And now I'm going to take some toasted sesame seeds and sprinkle a few on each one. And then I'm going to bake them off, and I'll show you what they look like. I just took the buns out of the oven, and they turned out really nice. They're a little bit fluffier than I like, but I think that they're going to be great with the barbecue pork. I'm going to let them cool off, and then I'll slice one open so we can check the crumb out. Be right back. Everybody, they're still a little warm, but I'm going to go ahead and cut one open and see how they turned out. I'm going to pick this one. And I have a hard time slicing it even. It's really soft, which is good. Oh yeah, they're just moist and tender. Look at that. I really like this recipe. This is only the second time I've made these with that buttermilk. The buttermilk just gives it a nice little tang. It's very subtle, you can't really tell. But I'm going to fix a barbecue pork sandwich for this for dinner tonight. So I'm not going to take a taste. But I really appreciate you watching. And I hope you have a fabulous day or night whenever you're watching this. Bye.